Hi every wise reader. Welcome to the next video from Read Wiser, a YouTube channel dedicated to helping you improve yourself through books. Today, we're diving deep into the powerful practical wisdom of Dale Carnegie in his life-changing book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. How much of your life have you lost to worry? Not just in sleepless nights, but in lost opportunities, strained relationships, and sheer exhausting fatigue. What if you learned that worry is the direct cause of countless physical illnesses, from heart trouble to stomach ulcers? Dale Carnegie argues that worry is the most destructive habit on earth. He was once one of the unhappiest men in New York, drowning in bitterness and anxiety. But he didn't just get over it. He spent 7 years running a real-world laboratory to find a cure. In this video, we'll unpack his collection of successful recipes to show you how to conquer worry, not just manage it. Dale Carnegie didn't write this book as a famous author. He wrote it out of pure necessity. As a young man, he was miserable, hating his job and living a life he described as one of disappointment, worry, bitterness, and rebellion. He made a radical decision to quit and start teaching night classes to adults. But he quickly found his students didn't care about academic theory. They were businessmen and housewives who wanted practical solutions to their real problems. And what was their biggest problem? The same one he had faced: worry. So Carnegie went looking for a textbook, a manual on how to stop worrying. He went to the New York Public Library and was astonished to find they had 189 books on worms and only 22 books on worry. None of them were the practical, hands-on guide he needed. He realized he'd have to write it himself. He spent the next 7 years using his classes as a laboratory for conquering worry. He and his students tested techniques, reported on what worked, and documented the results. This book isn't theory. It's a concise, documented report on how worry has been conquered by thousands of adults. Carnegie's belief was simple: our trouble is not ignorance, but inaction. This book is designed to make you act. So what's the first fundamental fact about worry? It's that you can't fight it unless you're living in the present. Carnegie introduces a powerful metaphor from Sir William Osler, living in day-tight compartments. Imagine you're on a massive ocean liner. The captain can press a button and seal off parts of the ship into watertight compartments. Osler said we must do the same with our lives. We must shut the iron doors on the dead yesterdays and the unborn tomorrows. The only time we can live is today. Worry is caused by dragging the regrets of the past and the fears of the future into the present. But what about real problems? For those, Carnegie gives us Willis H. Carrier's magic formula. Carrier was an engineer facing a $20,000 failure that terrified him. His formula has 3 steps. First, ask, what is the worst that can possibly happen? For him, it was losing his job and his company losing the money. Second, prepare to accept it if you have to. He accepted it. Third, calmly proceed to improve on the worst. With his mind clear of panic, he found a solution that not only saved the money but made a profit. By accepting the worst, you release all your energy to fix the problem. This section also warns that worry isn't harmless. It's a primary cause of physical illness. Dr. Alexis Carrel is quoted, "Businessmen who do not know how to fight worry die young." Worry is directly linked to stomach ulcers. You get ulcers from what is eating you: heart disease and high blood pressure. So, the foundation is set. Live for today and have a rational formula for today's problems. But to truly understand why this is so critical, we have to look at what worry is physically doing to our bodies. What's the real medical cost of anxiety? Let's find out in the next section. Carnegie argues that the chief cause of worry is simply confusion. We try to make decisions before we have sufficient knowledge, and that's what causes the anxiety. The antidote is a simple 3-step analytical process. Step 1, get the facts. Don't just get the facts that support your view. Carnegie says to pretend you're a lawyer, arguing the other side of the case. This forces you to be impartial and objective, and counteracts emotional bias. Once you have all the facts, worry usually evaporates in the light of knowledge. Step 2. Analyze the facts. The best way to do this? Write them down. As Charles Kettering said, a problem well stated is a problem half solved. Step 3. Arrive at a decision and act on it. This is the crucial part. Once a decision is made, get busy carrying it out and dismiss absolutely all responsibility and care about the outcome. All the analysis in the world is useless until you act. Executive named Leon Shimkin saved 75% of his meeting time by forcing his team to submit a memo answering 4 questions in writing before any discussion. 1. What is the problem? 2. What is the cause? 3. What are all possible solutions? 4. What solution do you suggest? By the time they had the answers, the problem was usually already solved. This analytical approach can break the habit of worry. But how do you break the habit when it feels overwhelming? When it's not one big problem but 1,000 little ones? Carnegie gives us 6 specific rules for that. Let's explore how to dismantle the worry habit, piece by piece. Worry is a habit, and habits can be broken. Carnegie's first rule is to crowd worry out of your mind by keeping busy. He says it's impossible for a mind to think about more than one thing at a time. An idle mind is a vacuum that nature abhors, and it will be filled with emotions like worry and fear. But if you keep busy with occupational therapy, you fill that vacuum with purpose, leaving no room for anxiety. Second, don't let beetles get you down. We can survive life's great disasters, but let little beetles, tiny petty trifles, ruin our happiness. As Disraeli said, life is too short to be little. Third, use the law of averages. Ask yourself, what are the chances this will actually happen? You'll find most of your fears are about events with a ridiculously low probability. Lloyd's of London has made millions betting against the very disasters people worry about. Fourth, cooperate with the inevitable. If a situation is beyond your control, accept it. As William James said, acceptance of what has happened is the first step to overcoming the consequence of any misfortune. This isn't fatalism. It's releasing energy from fighting the unchangeable to create a new, richer life. Fifth, put a stop-loss order on your worries. Decide exactly how much anxiety a thing is worth and refuse to pay anymore. And finally, Rule 6, don't try to saw sawdust. You can't change the past. It's already sawed. The only value of the past is to analyze your mistakes, learn from them, and then forget them. These 6 rules are powerful for stopping negative thoughts. But stopping the negative isn't enough. You have to replace it with the positive. So how do you build a new mental attitude that produces peace and happiness by default? Let's dive into Carnegie's 7-part plan. This is the core of Carnegie's philosophy. Peace and happiness are not external. They are internal. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said it best, "Our life is what our thoughts make it. If you think happy thoughts, you will be happy. If you think miserable thoughts, you will be miserable." But how? Carnegie points to William James's as-if philosophy. You can't just will yourself to be happy, but you can control your actions. Act as if you are happy. Sit up cheerfully, speak with a smile, and the action will indirectly regulate the feeling. Second, don't try to get even. Hating your enemies gives them power over your sleep, your health, and your happiness. It hurts you far more than it hurts them. Third, stop expecting gratitude. Carnegie says to give for the inner joy of giving. Gratitude is a fruit of great cultivation, not a natural response. Fourth, count your blessings, not your troubles. Most of us are unhappy because we seldom think of what we have, but always of what we lack, even though about 90% of life is good. Fifth, be yourself. Envy is ignorance and imitation is suicide. You are unique. Cultivate your own little garden. Sixth, when life gives you a lemon, make a lemonade. Happiness is mostly victory, the victory of turning a minus into a plus. And finally, forget yourself by becoming interested in others. Alfred Adler's prescription for curing melancholy in 14 days. Try to think every day how you can please someone. It shifts the focus from your own self-absorption, which is the root of worry. These 7 rules create a powerful mental foundation. But Carnegie believed there was one overarching golden rule for conquering worry, a sovereign cure that was more powerful than all the others combined. What was this ultimate answer? Let's find out. Carnegie calls it the golden rule for conquering worry, a deep, practical, and abiding religious faith. He illustrates this with the story of his own parents. His father, facing financial ruin, floods, and debt, was driven to physical illness and the brink of suicide. In contrast, his mother, facing the exact same hardships, never worried. She maintained a happy, radiant, and victorious spirit because she took all her troubles to God in prayer. Carnegie is convinced his father was saved from suicide only by his mother's deep, abiding, and joyous belief that if we loved God and kept His commandments, everything would come out all right. He's not just talking about dogma. He argues that modern psychiatry is now teaching what Jesus taught. He quotes Dr. Carl Jung, who said that among all his patients in the second half of life, there has not been one whose problem in the last resort was not that of finding a religious outlook on life. Carnegie also explains why prayer works, even for a skeptic. 1, it helps us put our vague troubles into concrete words. 2, it gives us a sense of sharing our burdens, of not being alone. And 3, it is a first step toward action. By surrendering the battle to a higher power, you find a peace and strength you could never find alone. This sovereign cure provides an internal shield against worry. But what about the most common external source of worry, criticism from other people? How do we handle the fear of what others say and think? Carnegie has a specific toolkit for that. Criticism is a major source of worry for most of us, but Carnegie says we're looking at it all wrong. His first rule is to remember that unjust criticism is often a disguised compliment. Why? Because no one ever kicks a dead dog. People get a feeling of importance from criticizing those who are more successful or prominent than they are. If you're being kicked, it means you're alive and accomplishing something. Second, you must accept that you will be criticized. Eleanor Roosevelt told Carnegie, "Do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you'll be criticized anyway. You'll be damned if you do and damned if you don't." The solution is to do the very best you can, and then put up your old umbrella and keep the rain of criticism from running down the back of your neck. Abraham Lincoln followed this by resolving to do the very best I know how. And I mean to keep on doing so until the end. But what if the criticism is just? That's where the wise man shines. While the small man flies into a rage, the wise man is eager to learn. Carnegie suggests you be your own most severe critic. He personally kept an FTD folder, meaning fool things I have done, to review his own mistakes. He tells the story of E.H. Little, a failing soap salesman who would go back to a customer who rejected him and ask for unbiased, helpful, constructive criticism. That habit of learning from his failures is what eventually made him president of the entire company. So we've learned to manage criticism and our internal mindset. But there's one more piece to the puzzle, our physical energy. What if the real reason you're worried is just that you're tired? Let's look at the critical link between fatigue and worry. Carnegie makes a startling claim: mental work alone can't make you tired. He says the human brain is utterly tireless. So what does make you tired? The answer is your emotions. Boredom, resentment, anxiety, and tension, these are the real culprits. These emotions cause your muscles to tense up, and a tense muscle is a working muscle. Your fatigue is not from your work. It's from how you feel about it. The good news is that tension is a habit, and relaxation is a habit you can learn. So how do you prevent this emotional fatigue? First, rest before you get tired. The US Army learned that soldiers could march longer if they rested for 10 minutes every hour. Your heart does this naturally, resting between every beat. Second, physically relax your muscles. You can't be worried if your body is relaxed. Carnegie says to start with your eyes, telling them to let go. Third, make your work interesting. You rarely get tired doing something exciting. If your job is dull, act as if it's interesting. That simple bit of acting will make the interest real and banish the boredom that's draining your energy. And fourth, don't worry about insomnia. Carnegie states that no one has ever died from lack of sleep. It's the worry about insomnia that does the damage, not the insomnia itself. So if fatigue, boredom, and a negative mindset are root causes of worry, what are the two biggest topics we worry about? Our jobs and our money. Let's look at Carnegie's final practical advice for these two giants of anxiety. Carnegie says that choosing your vocation is one of the most important decisions of your life. A huge portion of our unhappiness is spawned by work we despise. He calls people who hate their jobs industrial misfits. The first requisite for success isn't money or talent. It's having a good time at your work. If you have unlimited enthusiasm for something, you can succeed at it. His advice is to not go into a field just because your family wants you to, and to avoid jam-packed professions. Instead, spend weeks or even months interviewing people who are already in that career to find out what it's really like. The second giant is money, which he says causes 70% of all our worries. But here's the twist. The solution isn't just more money. The real problem is not knowing how to spend the money they have. His solution is to treat your personal finances like a business. That means getting the facts on paper, creating a tailor-made budget that fits your personal needs, learning to spend wisely, and not letting your spending automatically increase with your income. By getting a plan and sticking to it, you eliminate the confusion and anxiety that comes from financial chaos. Carnegie doesn't just leave us with rules. He shows us the proof. The final part of his book is a powerful collection of real-world case studies. Let's look at how real people put these very ideas into action. The final section of the book is a collection of successful recipes in action. It's 32 true stories from real people who used these exact principles to conquer worry. We hear from J.C. Penney, who, facing a total breakdown in a sanatorium, was saved when he heard a hymn and turned his life over to God. We hear from Jack Dempsey, who used positive self-talk and prayer before every round to manage his fear. We hear from Gene Autry, who never worried about his risky show business career because he always kept his line of supplies open, his old railroad job he could go back to. But it's not just famous people. It's men and women like Ted Erickson, who survived a grueling job pulling a cork line in Alaska. Now, whenever he faces a problem, he just asks, "Is this as bad as the cork line?" The answer is always no. Or Joseph Cotter, who realized a train engineer only sees one green light at a time. He stopped trying to see his whole life's path and learned to just look for today's green light. These stories are the ultimate proof that these rules aren't just theory. They are practical, repeatable, and life-changing tools. These powerful stories show us that no matter the cause of our worry, the solution lies in a new set of habits. Let's recap the core message of this incredible book. So, what is the lasting message of how to stop worrying and start living? It's that worry is not an unchangeable fact of life. It is a destructive habit that you have learned. And just as you learned it, you can unlearn it. The book's power isn't in one single magic bullet, but in its collection of practical, time-tested recipes. It gives you a complete toolkit. It teaches you to seal your mind off from the past and the future, and to live fully in day-tight compartments. It gives you a rational formula for analyzing any problem that does arise. Get the facts, analyze them, make a decision, and act. It provides a set of daily habits to crowd worry out with action, to ignore trifles, to accept the inevitable, and to stop sawing sawdust. And most importantly, it shows you how to build a new, positive mental attitude from the ground up, an attitude built on counting your blessings, being yourself, turning your lemons into lemonade, and perhaps most powerfully, forgetting your own anxieties by becoming interested in helping others. The core theme is a shift from passive, confused anxiety to proactive, purposeful living. Worry is a disease of inaction. Action is the cure. Dale Carnegie gave us a powerful toolkit, but the first step is always action. So what's one principle from this summary that you can apply today? Is it the magic formula? Is it the idea of living in day-tight compartments? Or is it the simple act of counting your blessings? Let us know in the comments what your single best technique is for conquering worry. If you found this summary helpful, please like this video and subscribe to Read Wiser for more insights that can help you improve your life. Thanks for watching.